What's up, guys? This is Jared here over at Blood, Sweat, and Gears. This is my first official YouTube video that is actually of me and not freaking videos of just trucks. But today we're going to be talking about if you are buying a 6-liter Power Stroke, the things that you should know before purchasing this truck and things to expect throughout the ownership of said truck. Now I'm going to start off by letting you guys know this truck does have a really bad reputation. Everybody says it's such a horrible motor. But in the ownership that I've had, I've only owned this truck for about, I would say, 5 or 6 months now. I've really had almost little to none issues. I mean, it's got 210,000 miles on the truck. And those are some rough miles. If you ask any of my friends, I beat the ever-living balls off of this truck with no remorse. And I've only had 2 things fail on me. First thing I had was after I got my new tunes, I was running a race tune as my daily driving tune. And it actually caused the radiator to blow. That was the factory radiator that came with the truck. So after 210,000 miles, that is to be expected. So I replaced it with a Mishimoto. Another thing that I had was I was racing a buddy, and I ended up blowing my my alternator. And you know, again, 210,000 mile alternator. That's to be expected when you buy one of these trucks with such high mileage. Now, the first thing to look at when you buy one of these trucks is you want to make sure that the person that owns the truck, if they did any type of work to the truck, which obviously they should have any sort of work, whether it's head studs, head gaskets, any prior oil leaks, any transmission problems, any problems throughout the motor or any of its major components, make sure that the previous owner kept a log of all of the stuff. They have a whole file full of all the receipts, or at least something that shows the dates that they were fixed, what they were fixed with, and where they took it to get the work done. Now, obviously, when you first buy this truck, you want to make sure it's bulletproof. And when I say bulletproof, I don't just mean studded. You want to make sure that it's studded, obviously, but you also want to make sure that there's no issues with the FICM, because the FICM and the oil cooler are one of the main reasons as to why these trucks actually experience head gasket failure. And that's what gives them this incredibly foul name in the truck community. Next thing, you want to make sure that the driver actually took care of the truck. You want to make sure that the previous owner kept up with all the oil changes, never ran it without coolant. If there was head gasket failure, make sure that they didn't drive it too long when the failure actually occurred. You just want to make sure that the truck was kept well and it was kept up with and it was treated nicely. Because if you treat these trucks nice, they'll treat you nice and you will not be let down whatsoever. Now, one thing to note when you buy these trucks, the PowerMax Turbo, it's stage 1. It does sound good and it gets the job done. It's not the world's most reliable turbo upgrade from the factory, but I like it a lot more than the factory turbo. I think it gives it a better whistle. It's not much of a difference, but it's definitely noticeable. It gives it a better whistle and it adds a little bit of speed. I mean, I think it adds 175 over the stock turbo. Never had a problem with my turbo. Sorry, I gotta talk really loud because these 6 liters are extremely loud. Now, one of my favorite parts about these trucks is the exhaust. I think that goes for everybody that owns a 6-liter. One of their favorite parts about the 6-liter, and one of the main reasons as to why they buy a 6-liter, is because of that amazing sound that you get off of these when you delete them. Now, this truck, obviously full EGR delete, and it's got a 4-inch straight pipe all the way through to a 10-inch axle dump. I prefer the axle dump just because, one, my truck does smoke a lot because I drive it on the race tune as my daily, just because I like the way it treats the trans, but it disperses the smoke a lot because my injectors, obviously, because it's on the race tune, my injectors put out a lot of fuel and a lot of it doesn't get used and it gets kicked out in the exhaust and you roll a lot of coal. And it's nice because when it's pointed at the ground, it kind of disperses it, and the wind coming underneath of the truck kind of disperses it before it hits the car behind you. So it's not like that side exit where it's just a thick black cloud. It's actually a really noticeable difference between the axle dump and the side exit. Now, I also like the axle dump because it does give it a beefier sound. It echoes off the ground, as you can hear. Standing directly behind it, the whistle is insanely loud, almost stupid. And then you walk over here to the side, and it's ridiculously quieter. And I enjoy that because it lets my friends know, yeah, I'm a mile up the road, but my next door neighbors aren't being woken up at 6 a.m. when I go to work. Now, pardon my shaky camera, it's really cold out here. and I am not dressed for the weather, and I'm a very small fella if you can't tell. I'm about 150 pounds, and it's about 20 degrees out here, and I'm wearing a hoodie and a t-shirt. It's cold, and I'm shaking. But listen to that high idle. Absolutely amazing trucks. They sound great. I love them with all my heart. This truck isn't really built all too much. I mean, it's definitely not pushing a crazy 800 horsepower, which is my goal by the end of this year. But, and yes, I know I need new air filter, but I have a whole new intake kit coming in that's actually aluminum, because what you'll experience with this plastic that comes with the AFE kit is over in the turbo, there's actually some cracking right where it mounts up with that hose clamp there. But yes, this is a Stage 1 Power Max into an AFE cold air intake, which I absolutely love. And this is the new alternator I got, brand new. Now, when I said that my stock radiator blew on me, I didn't need to. I'm not racing this truck. I don't need the extra cooling, but I did end up getting the Mishimoto. It's the performance. I think it's like 100 PSI. It really doesn't change much. It's just more reliable because obviously it's aluminum and welded, as opposed to the factory one, which I believe is it's got an aluminum crimp that goes over plastic and more aluminum, which is what ended up cracking on my last stock radiator. I don't know if it's like this on all of them, but how mine is, you actually have a very tough time getting down to that tensioner because of this fan shroud here, and it takes a while, but you can actually get your ratchet or breaker bar, whatever you're using, you can find a way to squeeze it in there without taking the shroud off, but it definitely takes some time and some technique, and it's quite frustrating because, I mean, this is a beefy shroud that comes off the fan. Now, when buying a 6.0, obviously you're going to have simple 6.0 problems, like you're going to have an oil leak one day, and then you're going to wake up the next day and it's going to stop leaking oil, but there's still going to be perfect amount of fluid in the truck. That's just one thing that you're going to get when you buy a 6.0. It does have little 6.0 issues that aren't even issues, that go away overnight and make absolutely no sense. So just keep your eye on your fluid levels. I check mine every other day just to make sure that there's no leaks that I'm not aware of. But I mean, this truck, I haven't had a single oil leak that lasted more than a night. So it's all about who you buy from and how you keep up with it. Now, when you buy a 6-liter, you're going to want to check the blow by, and how you do that, you take this off while the truck is running. This is your oil refill cap, and you just set it on top. Now, obviously, when the truck's running, it's going to go like that. There's going to be a little bit of a haze, but if this actually falls off or jumps, that's when you have an issue. Now, it's going to vibrate a little bit as the truck's running, obviously, because it's pushing out pressure, but that is definitely one thing to check. As far as cosmetic upgrades go, I really like the all-white LED conversion, where you change out cab lights to the black smoked lenses, and then the clear lens headlights with the black housings, and all white LEDs. Love it. This grill my girlfriend got me for Christmas. She found it on Amazon. It's about $200. I'll leave a link down in the description. Absolutely great grill. Love it with all my heart. Looks amazing, cleans it up. Honestly, gives it a little bit of a 6.7 vibe to the front end, and it just makes the truck look newer, and it makes it look clean. I'm very happy with this set of wheels and tires. These are 22x12 Fittipaldi off-roads. I forget what the name of this wheel style is, but I'll leave a link to them in the description. Also, these are 33 by, I think, 11.5 radar, whatever they're called. I also forget the brand or the model name of those tires, but I mean, I get a little bit of rub. Obviously, the fender's bent back a little bit, but it looks amazing, and I mean, it's really not too bad. I mean, obviously, I get a pretty decent amount of turn off of them, and they stick out. I mean, they stick out a good amount too. I mean, it's not absolutely absurd, but it's enough to where it looks really good, and you're gonna have to wash the truck at least once a week to keep up with it. I always like to keep an absurdly large D-ring on the truck. It just kind of makes it look like a work truck, even though we all know my truck ain't seeing work ever. Tint is another cosmetic upgrade that I am very, very huge on. This is 5% all around side windows, and then I have 50 on the shield. As you can see, it gets the job done. I'm actually going to switch the 50 out for 15 because I like the way the 15 looks more than the 50. And then up here for the eyebrow, the sun visor, I actually did a matte black vinyl strip. It says financial mistake, because what Ford isn't a financial mistake? As far as color matching goes, I think the previous owner did an absolutely amazing job with the mirrors and the windshield wiper column, whatever you want to refer to that as. I'm not really sure. And then we have the upper valance piece, which obviously usually comes from the factory, color matched. We redid that, and I actually have a new plastic piece because this one has a lot of scratches on it. And the new plastic piece I will get painted sometime shortly, but I'd like it to have a little bit more flake in it, like my actual paint is. Now, as far as the coils go, these coils will be coming out sometime in the near future. I might be getting new coils just because these have 210 rough 1,000 miles on them, and I'm going to get a new set of these bad boys, and we'll get them color matched up, because these aren't actual color match. These are just rattle can. I just quick did a rattle can job to see if I liked the way it looked, and overall pleased with it. So I will definitely be getting those professionally painted, or I might go powder coat so the paint doesn't crack over time. Taillights, I like to go nice and simple, keep everything dark. It keeps the whole truck low profile, and just all in all makes it look clean. And obviously I'm a straight redneck, you already know. Gotta have the sticker banner. You just have to. And this is an Edge. It's a really old monitor, but I actually like this better than some of the newer monitors because this gives me every vital. I mean, this gives me every temperature you want to look at, your battery voltage. It'll show you your torque, your horsepower, the load that you're using, like the load range. It shows you what gear you're in, what RPM you're at, what mile per hour you're at. It shows your, everything, your tachometer, your odometer, everything that you want to see show up right here. Absolutely amazing. It actually shows you your pitch and roll like this thing's a freaking airplane, because, I mean, come on. I am showing up in a P42. Girlfriend. Gotta be able to take her everywhere with me. Princess seating only. Jessica. Got a picture of her and her little teddy bear up there. Jess, if you're watching this, love you. The thing that the previous owner did that I'm not sure I like is he color matched this plastic here, but the paint that he used is quite cheap. As you can see, there's some sun fading. It scratches very easily, and every particle of dirt and dust that gets in there gets stuck in there because it's still that texture, that cow skin texture that comes out of the factory. All right, so now I'm going to go out. I'm going to give you guys a little test drive of this thing, let you hear those beautiful exhaust notes, and just kind of explain how it is to drive and what kind of fuel mileage to expect when you're doing the same things that I did to the truck. All right, so now we're going to go for a quick test drive, give you guys an idea of what this bad boy sounds like. Turbo whistle, absolutely insane. You can't beat it with any other truck. Absolutely love the sound of a good 6.0. Beautiful sounding when you're going through town and it's echoing off the buildings, and definitely turns a lot of heads. I mean, everybody's looking over when you're driving through town with this bad boy. Another thing, one of my favorite parts about these trucks is the turbo flutter is immaculate. I mean, the turbo flutter is enough to make a grown man cry, and I guarantee you, if you're a redneck, it'll make your pants tight. Love the truck to bits. Sounds great, looks great. Ford, you really outdid yourself with this one, I gotta say. Gotta hate these Pennsylvania red lights, man. They seem to last forever. I cannot lie though, the turbo lag on these Power Maxes, oh my gosh, it's intense. I mean, the turbo lag is absolutely horrible. So much turbo lag. And I've had times where the turbo lag will actually last me throughout an entire year. Which, that was before I got the new tunes and everything. The transmission was getting a little clapped on, but like I said, as you can tell by just watching this video, I beat the absolute garbage out of this truck, and it handles everything that I've ever thrown at it. What's to be expected fuel mileage wise when you buy one of these trucks and you upgrade the turbo, you keep the stock injectors, and ooh, that's a nice 5th gen, and you run your race tune as a daily driver and you drive like an absolute douchebag all the time. Well, if you're like me and you drive with a lead foot, what's to be expected is about 5.5 to 7 miles per gallon, which on these, I think mine's a 34-gallon tank. That'll last you about a week, depending on how far you're driving. That lasts me about a week. I fill up every Sunday at a quarter tank. So, just something to keep in mind. And diesel around here in Pennsylvania is not cheap for me. It's usually around $70 to $80 to fill up every Sunday on a quarter tank. So, just keep that in mind if you don't have the money for it, whatever. But diesel prices are definitely going to be going up in the next coming months, considering the fact that it's January of 2021. And Joe Biden could potentially be in office soon. Yeah, fuel prices are definitely going to be going up in the near future, so that is to be expected. Just keep that in mind when you buy one of these trucks. Alrighty, y'all. Well, thank you so much for tuning into this video. I really do appreciate all the views and all of the likes, and if anybody subscribes, I really do appreciate that. It's helping me out. My New Year's resolution for 2021 is to make social media influencing my full-time job. So this is my first video and my first attempt at making it. So I really would appreciate if you guys could just go down, subscribe, like, go over to my Instagram, give me a follow, go over to my TikTok, give me a follow. My Instagram and my TikTok are the same exact username. It's Jared9638. And in the future, if you do end up buying wheels and tires for your truck, head over to Custom Offsets. I'll leave a link down in the description for their website. They have literally some of the greatest deals. You actually save money for bundling tires and wheels together, and they mount and balance everything and ship it out to you for free. So really do appreciate what they're doing. But if you do buy wheels and tires from them, when you go to checkout, it'll ask you who sent you. When it asks you that, go down and click on my name at Jared9638. That'll earn me money on the website, and what I'm going to do with that money is I'm going to be spending it for stuff for you guys for giveaways. So that'll be kind of like my starter giveaway thing. So, everything that you spend gets me credits that I can use on their website. So leave comments down below of what you guys want to see me give away, and I will see if I can earn enough points to be able to do that off the website. And eventually I want to build up to actually giving away trucks. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you subscribe and stick around for some new content. And I hope that if you were buying a 6.0, that this actually helped in the decision-making process. And I just really, all together, I'd like to thank you guys so much for actually tuning in. And be safe. Have a great new year. And peace.